hearing a continuity test, one's being performed or something along those lines. And a lot of the time, the younger guys, or not even younger, but the less experienced guys in the field have no idea what that really or truly means. And that's okay. That's why we're able to learn. This video is going to go over continuity testing. So let's get to it. To make it as simple as possible, you can think of a continuity test basically ensuring that a pathway, or not a pathway, but that a circuit is completed, that there's no disconnections or anything like that. That's a very bare bones minimum, I guess, definition, if you want to call it that, but that's to make it as simple as possible. One of the main reasons you will use this, and there are many reasons, but at least one of the main reasons I've used this test out in the field is, say you get into a junction box, and let's just say you're trying to figure out what wiring is going down to an outlet. Let's just make it easy. You're up in a big junction box, there's many circuits, and then let's say there is a 1-inch EMT conduit running out of that junction box down to an outlet box. That outlet box has multiple breaks in it for whatever reason. Once again, just an example. And you want to verify that the wires in that specific box or in the outlet box go back to that junction box. That's when you can run the continuity test. That's also assuming things aren't labeled, worst case scenario, but things do happen out in the field. I'm going to go over how to do so. Now, we will have to do some pretending just because I'm in my sunroom, not on a site or anything like that. And before I get any hate, I use the Klein Tools meter. It's fairly new. It's not often used, but I use it just at home. If I'm going to be testing things at work, I'm going to have the contractor provide a multimeter. And that's solely because they're calibrated and things of that nature, and we're not really only dealing with a simple outlet at work. We're dealing with very expensive equipment. So before I get any hate for that, it is what it is. This is just the one I use around my own house. It is very sufficient. But before we begin, there's all these different settings on this multimeter, as any other multimeter. The one in specific we're talking about in this video is going to be this one right here. This is your continuity testing symbol, if that's what you want to call it. But this one right here is what we're going to go for. I'll go over the other ones in other videos. But as you can see, turn it on. We'll hit this little light button, which will light that up. Now, continuity test, as I said, it's just basically verifying that an electrical pathway is completed, or at least that's how I like to describe it. Now, like I said, we're going to have to imagine. Let's say this side right here where my thumb's moving was in a box, an outlet box, for instance, and that these wires right here go up to a big, let's just say a 12 by 12 junction box with multiple other circuits. Let's just pretend there was another 4 circuits running with this one into this junction box, or this outlet box here, as a pass through, and it's all broken. All the continuity test is verifying that something is completed, or that this path is going to be completed. So if you notice, I have my setting turned on continuity. Do that, it rings out, you can hear that, and starts moving all the different numbers. But as you see, I have a break right here. Down on the other side, if I take my 2 probes, touch them, nothing's happening. As you can see, nothing. However, out in the field, say you get up in that junction box, you grab those 2 wires, obviously you're going to want to verify that the circuit's dead, but once again, we are just pretending in this video. You're going to bind them together, whether it's just like that, or you take a wire nut, slap it on there, call it a day. As you notice, now there's a connection here. We can take our probes, and you see how that is now ringing. I don't know if you can see that, but it is now ringing. That is because everything is completed. We break that apart again. Nothing. You take this back together, just like so. It's kind of hard. I wish I had my linesman's. There we go. A little better. But back to square one. As you see, everything's bound back together. Take both your probes. You have that ringing out again. The number is not too important. It's just that you get that noise. that's all a continuity test is. It's very good, especially like in a home if you're trying to trace out a circuit, even at work in commercial settings. I've had to use it multiple times on a job site. It's a very handy little trick to know. A lot of people get a meter in their hands and they claim to know how to operate them. That's not always the case, and it's never an issue to say, yeah, I don't know how to operate this. I've encountered a lot of higher up apprentices, even some journeymen, that don't know how to operate a meter. It's just one of those things. I don't know if people just, I really don't know. Either way, there's nothing wrong with it. You can always learn how to use one properly. But yeah, that's a simple continuity test. You can always use that out in the field, at home, many different purposes, on fuses, things of that nature. But yeah, hopefully this video was insightful or helpful. If it was, please let me know, and have a great night.